This evening on Nova Legends podcast, I have 2025 Yorktown Patriots soccer. My favorite soccer team, or maybe one of two my favorite girls teams in the area. I went to Robinson, but with me today are Quincy Greene, a forward who's going to WNL, Avery Stell, a forward who's going to Boston College, Reese Montgomery, who I've talked to your sister numerous times, a midfielder going to Davidson, and Meri Strazzella, who plays right back, and she's going to Delaware. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. It's great to meet you.
Thank you
you
for
so much
having
for having
us.
us.
Yes.
Oh, of course. So first of all, what is your mood right now? So I mean, you guys haven't had prom yet, right?
No.
No. But you're going to have prom, playoffs, graduation, maybe beach week, and then it's a lot going on. How would you describe your mood? Are you getting sentimental? Are you getting sad? Are you excited? How would you
I think we all,
characterize your mood?
I think we all are pretty excited, especially being first in the district and having a bye this past week. I think that was great and really like amped up the team's energy and everything like that. But also as seniors, I think everything's becoming really real. We had our last day of school on Friday.
Really?
So, yep. Yeah. Because now we do
Yeah.
senior experience for 2 weeks until graduation.
Wow.
So,
So it's definitely like a very chaotic time right now. Like we're so many moving parts. But I think it's all like fun stuff. And so we're excited for the district game tomorrow and like everything upcoming is gonna be super exciting. So busy, but in a good way for sure.
yeah.
Yes. It's sentimental, but like it's important that we like stay in the moment because it's all like Avery said, exciting, fun things coming up.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Quincy, you agree with all that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how like it's crazy. Like last year, we watched all the seniors go through the same exact thing, and now like
Felt
it
so
went,
far
it went by so
away.
fast,
Yeah.
and now we're
Yeah.
here going through the same things that we
Yeah.
watched them go through. It's pretty crazy. But
Yeah, I remember, and I know Reese was there, maybe Quincy. Chandler's last game, they got upset by McLean. We just beat them 4-0 because you guys played right after us. And that was devastating because we got to the state final the year before. And he wasn't, like Meri and Avery, he wasn't playing college soccer. So that was like his last real competitive game. That was really, I mean, he did pretty good. He sang for the girls' game, cheered you guys on. But for dad, it was really traumatic thinking that was the last soccer game I'd ever see him play. It was really, really tough. But I guess you're right. Just stay in the moment, focus on today. Don't worry about deal with that stuff as it comes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mentioned the 2021 team, and a lot of those players were back 2022 as well. But there were like I think seven Division One players. There was Evelyn, Amora, Nora, Shay, Reese, Aminata, and there was a center back that played up New
Oh,
York.
yeah. Tell you.
Yes. I mean, that was an unbelievable team. But one thing I remember about that team is they had some strong personalities. So I'd never really seen them play before. And watching them play, they were like sassy. They would smile. I mean, they were really unique. They were fun to watch. Uh, you, how would you describe the personality of this Yorktown team?
pretty similar to what you just described. I feel like we have the same energy on this field. Like it shows. Like I know a lot of teams have it during practice, obviously, because that's like a time to be social. But during the games, I think like we find a way to like carry that energy and be competitive at the same time.
Yeah. I think that we're a really close team. I think throughout the years, the Yorktown team for girls has always been close. And I think that we bring our bond from like outside of the field and we do stuff together like on the field and we're just like a cohesive unit
I
together.
think
Yeah.
you see it in like the team chemistry.
Yeah, we have, I think, especially our first couple games definitely like took some time to like build up, but I think like ever since I think the WNO game, it really has like shined and just like popped out. I think that game we scored 5 goals and it was a really good game for us. So yeah, and
Just,
I
like,
yeah.
joy.
Yeah.
We've been stressing
Yeah.
like I feel like this year it's like being intentional with how we play, but then also playing with joy and like that is
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
fun.
I think 2 years ago on that team, I think it was very like we had so many good players, as you just said, there were 7 commits, but still, I just don't know. I mean, this year it just feels like really like special. I know my sister was on the 2019 team when they won states, and that team was like phenomenal. And it just we kind of have I feel like I kind of have that same like vibe of the team now that we have, where just the chemistry is like all like there and together.
Maybe it's like our senior year.
Yeah.
That's why.
You guys have more ownership of it because you're seniors and you're captains. Is it more fun to be kind of, I don't want to say you're an underdog, but no one was really talking about you as one of the favorites at the beginning of the year. It's not everyone knows Yorktown's going to be good, but you weren't quite Madison or South County. They weren't quite talking about you. Did that make it more fun because you can kind of fly beneath the radar and kind of build gradually instead of having all those expectations? Those teams were known to be great. Everyone knew they were great. So there was probably, lots of pressure playing for those guys.
Yeah, you got it.
I think there's always been a lot of like pressure on Yorktown just because of like our 2017 to 2021 years where we were just like great. And so
crazy.
Yeah. And so I think that this year, like maybe like our season last year maybe didn't go like as well as we would have wanted. And so I think this year coming into it, like we kind of acknowledge nothing's guaranteed. And I think embracing that is definitely like been fun to go into games and just like give it our all. And
I would say last year's season though, and we'll get to your last year's season more in depth in a little bit, but I mean, you lost to a great Oakton team 2-1. It wasn't like you were right there, 2 more games and you're back in the state playoffs again. So, I mean, that Oakton team, Isabella, and they had Avery. I saw them play a couple times. I was really impressed. So I think I watched that game online and I thought you guys had your chances. So
we definitely did. I think it was also a bit of a rough loss because we won to them in the regular season game. I know that game, I remember that was such an intense game. You guys probably remember that too. That was an intense game. We only won 1-0 and it was a PK.
Yeah.
And it was, so I think that, what was it? The region quarterfinals we lost?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. That was, I think it was a really rough game. It was very rough for us. And I think we tried to play, we gave it our all, definitely. But I think our chances just didn't like get into the back of the net, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would describe them as a very physical team, that Oakton team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I went to the Madison game and it was a bloodbath. I mean, it was very tough. Well, let's talk a little bit about playing high school soccer at all. So first of all, are most of the top players in Yorktown in the building? Are they playing on the team this year? I know Reese was hurt last year, but there's always a lot of players on the girls' side, especially, who are not playing. So do you have some players who aren't playing high school this year?
Yeah. We have a girl named Olivia Stafford. You've probably heard of her. She's playing soccer at Vanderbilt next year. She's like running track and she usually plays lacrosse, but this year she's not because Vanderbilt's not letting her before going into the fall season. So she's definitely, we're missing out on her for sure.
Would love for her to play.
And then there's also a girl playing soccer at UVA who goes to HB. So she would name Meri McCormack.
Her sister played also, right?
Tech.
Her sister Lacey McCormack also played at UVA.
That's right. Yeah.
But Meri McCormack, she plays forward and she goes to Arlington Tech.
Yeah. I think that it's just, I mean, the high school and club seasons can be so much like at one time, so it makes sense, but hurts a little. Would love for them to be on the team.
Marin also had an ACL injury in high school, so I think that's also part of the reason why, which makes total sense. Yeah.
So on the for you guys, do you guys play the same way in a high school game that you'd play in a club game? I mean, since you do have a lot of high level players, so it's you could do some things that some high school teams can't do. So do you guys play the same way personally that you'd play in a club game, or high school's a little bit different?
Well, I know Quincy and Reese are on the same club team, and me and Avery are on the same club team. So I think we could hear from like both of us or whatever. But I think also personally, I think being like on club team versus high school team is 2 completely different teams. Both very good teams, but I think the style of play is different. I think high school we can play numerous styles, but I think club really depends on like the game and the opponent and how you kind of play against them.
I think I like I think we all try to bring the same like kind of core foundations that we learn from club. We have a lot of girls, like we're all in Arlington. We have a lot of girls on the team who are play in Arlington. And and I think that we do try to possess the ball and look to drive forward and find the goal. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same as playing on your club team, but I feel like we all try to bring similar core values that we learn from our club teams. And also, I think that what might be slightly different is we have a little bit more freedom to playing like different positions on the field. I feel as though sometimes people don't get moved around as much in club as like if you're trying to get recruited, you might be trying to get recruited for one specific position. But like in high school, I feel like there's a lot of movement of players.
Yeah. Reese, what was the feeling, Reese, when you came back this year after not playing? Was it a year or 2 years you were off high school?
Well, sophomore year, I was pretty much hurt the whole season.
That's right.
I was not playing
so
at
when
all.
You came back, did it feel much different playing high school? Because you were a much better player than you were as a freshman, much more experienced. Physically, you're taller and stronger. Did it feel different playing high school when you came back?
I think I felt a little less scared to be out on the field. As a freshman, it was a little bit of intimidating. As you said, my freshman year team was pretty amazing. All of the players, not everyone now is amazing too, but some of them were really like really amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I was definitely a little less scared coming back this year, but I think it's the same. Like all the Yorktown teams are so fun to be a part of, and I was just really excited to get back out on the field because I missed it.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back.
So, yeah.
So Avery and Quincy, did you want to add something here?
Oh,
about how you play differently in club and high school?
Oh, sure. So for me, I feel like I kind of had a hard club season. I played high school field hockey, which was in the fall. So I like playing different sports. So I wanted to prioritize that a lot. And we did win the state championship. So I was like,
congratulations.
Thank you. It was worthwhile. But so that led to a lot of conflicts with clubs. So I feel like that I didn't really like have much time to like really shine there. So I feel like club, it's like obviously you're playing with amazing players and like working hard with them. But I feel like high school is like where all like the work that I put into club like kind of paid off. And I feel like, yeah, I think I am a different player in club during high school. And I think my parents would probably tell you the same thing.
And field hockey, does it help you be a better soccer player?
I think a lot. I think they're very similar sports and just like vision of the field definitely. And like my coaches, like they told me that, and because I like had no clue playing field hockey at all. I just started for high school, and I think they definitely like there's a lot of similarities between.
And they still wear those skirts when they play field hockey.
Yeah,
really cool.
Skirts. So like with my height, it's kind of difficult. Back problems, but it's okay. It was fun. Lots of fun.
Cool. Yeah. How about you, Avery?
Yeah, I think that what Quincy said about like the work from club paying off in high school, I think that's a really great point. I think that I'd like to think I play pretty similarly in high school and club. I think that high school you kind of have a little bit more freedom, just because I feel like a lot of clubs like have a certain like form that they want all their teams to follow. So like Arlington, I know they had like sent out like I don't know, maybe it was the beginning of last season, they like set out like new tactics of what they want all their coaches to like follow. Or just like style of play. With high school, I think that there's more freedom. Again, like you bring the team together and like kind of fit the puzzle pieces of like how you gotta play. Like during the season, you're like figuring it out. Like how are we gonna play? And I think that was something we talked about this year. Is we were talking to our coaches or just like everyone. Like it was an open conversation. It was like we want to like have a way that Yorktown plays, and so I think that being able to build that up is really fun and like that's very different. I feel like not very different, but slightly different than club.
Yeah. And so Avery, is the way you're playing this year different than last year?
With at Yorktown?
Yeah, at Yorktown.
You know, I don't think it's that different. I just think that you have different players every year. And so figuring out like where people play best, like we had Reese playing 9 the other day. And just like moving people around. It's not necessarily a super different style of play, but I just think that there is more flexibility in like where people play.
That's awesome. Well, cool. What about wins and losses? Do they mean any more or less with high school than they mean with club?
I think they mean more with high school. Personally, I think they mean more with high school. I think club, maybe also throughout the years though, is that I know for 2007, like Arlington Red team for me and Avery are we a lot of well in the spring it's kind of hard to get girls to come out because everybody's playing high school. So the games are very different each game because there's not as many girls not as many girls playing in college. Where last year those games were really intense and meant a lot compared to this year where everybody's seniors kind of know where they want to play. Everybody still definitely gives their 110% effort, but if we lost a game by one, maybe people aren't going to shake their head about it too much. But I think with high school, especially with the rankings, and you want to be first in the district and you want to beat teams, you want to have a good record, I think losses take a heavier toll. So maybe on me also because I'm a defender. So they take a heavier toll on me, I think, with high school.
Yeah, I think it's big. I mean, I think the biggest thing is district rankings. Like like the games like that really, I feel like a loss in your district is really tough to kind of like overcome sometimes. And so I think that I mean, it depends on how it sets you up for the postseason. So people were really like, I don't know.
I think I take losses very hard, probably in both, especially like with my some past seasons in club when we've been trying to make sure we win games when getting into like nationals and like which bracket. Those would be important, but I think both are hard to
Never
take.
fun to lose.
No,
Yeah, never.
Yeah. And Quincy, you agree with that also? You're on the same page?
No, like one of them is more or less like difficult. I think like all the same. But
Yeah.
I definitely think on high school, it's like, I guess this year for club too, because we're seniors, but like Meri was talking about, it's like all over the place. Like some like private schools, they have their high school season in the fall, so they're gone a lot of the fall, and then we have it in the spring, so we're gone in the spring. So it's just like games and practices are a lot different at high school. Well, for club, but for high school, I feel like every game, like it could like be we're getting into a part of the season where every game could be your last one. So I feel like it's just like means a lot, especially as seniors. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably don't have that many knockout opportunities in club. I mean, there's some tournaments you play and like there are some games that between, but it's probably a little different. So in club, you get to know your teammates and you can play with them for many, many years and you can travel with them, stay in hotels. It's different. High school, you know them, you might ride the bus. And it's like an intense 2 or 3 months on the field together, but you may know them really well off the field. Is your relationship with your teammates much different from club than it is with high school?
I think it's different, but like in a good way. I think, like you said, a lot of us have been playing on the same club teams for like the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And so like that's a different relationship. And so like I wouldn't say that it's like a closer relationship though, because I do think you come into high school, you're seeing these people every day, like 4 or 3 months. And so that like bond and like meeting people in different grades, like you get really close really fast. And so I think that the way the relationships are formed is different, but like the actual sentiment or like value of them, like it gets really like similar.
Yeah.
I think that Avery said in both, I think that we all get really close to our teammates just because it is a team sport and it's important that you know who you're playing with and you guys can play well together. But I think that like also with high school, a lot of us have already been friends. So then this is just an extension of getting to see each other even more and being around each other constantly now. Can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
But no, club is probably it is different just because like we've all started, like Avery said, at like a young age with like our same like teams. Like last year I was in 06, so most of my team left and only a couple of us were seniors this year. So
that's always tough.
Yeah, that is hard, but like you keep those friendships up and I'm sure we're gonna all keep our high school friendships up too. So
yeah, I agree with that. Even I've known Reese since elementary school, middle school. So, but the first time we played together was sophomore year.
Yeah.
So even though like we had never played together sophomore year, it still felt like nice to have the friendship. You know what I mean? Like our friendship still kind of transferred over onto the field. And I think high school and club is different because even though we all have played club together since second, third grade when we started. Some of us even on rec together. You still only see each other like 3 or 4 times a week, at least for our practice schedule. But with high school, you see each other every single day after practice. You see each other every single day during school in the hallways.
Yeah.
And we do bagel breakfasts every morning.
We take team bonding.
We
pretty
take team bonding very
seriously.
seriously.
So
We're even gonna go
nice.
get some dessert tonight with our team because we have crazy schedules tomorrow morning. So we're gonna go get some team bonding like sweet frog tonight. So we take it really like seriously, I think. And we even do pasta dinners.
5 hours together. Not
whole
actually,
day.
but it feels like that.
I love your social media when you guys are bonding, and you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys. But I have to say, you guys, it's not as like snippy. It's a little obnoxious in years past for social media. This year, you guys are nicer on social media. It's not as
We haven't been doing our winning memes or anything
Yeah,
like
we
that.
usually
We
do
know
memes.
we can just do our dub post on our story, our 0.5 post, and then people get follow. I don't think
Yeah. The Robinson girls told me they used to talk so much trash, and the principal or their AD told them they can't do it anymore. So like their feed is terrible, and they used to be so funny, talk about those dubs. Well, anyway, so what about when you think about before I get to that, let's talk about life at Yorktown. So as you guys probably know, my son played at Yorktown. He was a class of 22, and soccer was really important to him because he's a really shy guy, and then he had the COVID year. And he played club at Alexandria, so he didn't really know anyone. So he had a great, really nice career, and it was good for him to meet all these people that didn't even know he played soccer. So it was really special. But he never. It's a shame that he didn't have one more year. That COVID year hurt his chance to meet more people. But my daughter, who you may know, Lily, she was a class of 23, and now she's at JMU. And then I have another daughter who's now at Riverside, but she was at Williamsburg, and she's a sophomore now. So I know a little bit about Yorktown. But in your own words, how has Yorktown been? What's been your experience there? It seems to be a really cool. It's an awesome school, but what do you guys think?
I mean, it's a big school. Like, obviously it's not the biggest there is, but I think that it definitely, I'm sure my freshman year I was super intimidated. But I think that, just overall experience at Yorktown, I think that you have a lot of opportunities to get involved. I think like soccer for all of us, and then Quincy mentioned field hockey, also clubs. So I think that it's a big school, but like you can definitely find your place. And I don't know, I think in my experience, like I've been able to get involved in things, and that's been really fun.
Yeah, I agree. And I think high school also, like even outside of school, I think soccer has also just been a great opportunity to make a lot of friends, because even as Avery was saying, Yorktown's pretty big. I know just because of soccer and club soccer, I know girls in the year below, in the year, and with high school, it always like felt nice having like a senior like say hi to you in the hallways as a sophomore. Like I think that really helped our experience. But Yorktown has been great. I know I was thinking about going to private school for high school, and I'm really like happy that I stayed at Yorktown with all my.
That's a great place. Quincy or Reese, you got anything?
Yeah. So like what Avery was talking about with the sports, I just like that's my favorite thing about Yorktown. I just feel like there's such like a big part of like the atmosphere there, and like we're big for sports. Or that sounds bad, but like not good, but just like a lot or good. Okay, you know.
People here, a lot of people play sports.
Everyone,
I feel like it's like a sports.
It's a good balance of competitiveness, but you can always be a part of it if you want to. I think it's really our Yorktown soccer is very competitive. We have over 100 girls try out each year. Obviously, only 40, I think, less than that usually make the team. It's very competitive, but even like just sports in general are really a big part of Yorktown. And even if you don't play a sport, I know our theater program is really big. Our art program is really big. Chorus.
I was at a choir concert the other day.
Our choir and theater is very good too.
I wish I'd done that.
And like all the clubs. I know Avery's part of Best Buddies. Quincy and I are part of Families for Families. And so I think that's
clubs.
also a great way to like branch out and meet a lot of people.
Well, I'm glad you brought up choir because I've been asking all the teams this question. I'm dying to see how you guys answer this question. So, my daughter's playing Regina and Mean Girls. She's got a couple solos coming up and this summer. And you guys are getting ready to be in a situation where you might be in a penalty shootout. And as a parent, I feel they're the same thing. You're like singing a solo or watching your kid shoot a penalty shot. It's a lot of pressure for the parents. So, but what about you guys? If you had to choose between a penalty shot that if you miss it, the team's out, it's knockout, or singing a solo in front of a packed house, which one would you choose?
Penalty shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Penalty.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I thought for
Definitely
a second I thought
penalty.
the
No.
option was you either have to sing or you have to miss a PK that takes you out. But I was like, what?
No,
Um,
I would choose the penalty shot. I have a terrible voice, so singing, just like
Singing,
no matter
yeah.
what the option was,
Yeah.
I would choose the penalty. I do
Yeah.
love singing, though. So
But if you sang and it was terrible, you should.
Hot Fries. I mean, her singing is really
An
great
angel.
to sit next
Phenomenal.
to. So, but we do have a really good singer on our team. Maddie Matthews is and Ella.
we have
Omer.
a girl on
We
choir.
have two. Yeah.
She sang it the national
She
anthem
sang
for our
the-
senior
Yep,
night.
yeah, for our senior night. So we have two really great singers on the team. And who else? Maybe there are more people, but we
Under-
just
under-
yeah.
But if you sing and it's not good, all you do is you're embarrassed. But if you miss the penalty, you see the season's over.
I'm pretty confident about my
Yeah.
penalty kick.
Yeah, I
so-
think we all are pretty confident
out
about
there.
our penalty.
I
Yeah.
just think it's something that it's kind of more in our wheelhouse.
Okay,
Like, yeah.
we're gonna stick to what we do best. How about that?
Yeah, stick to soccer.
I haven't gotten one. Well, I did the Riverside guys yesterday, and one of them said, I could actually do both. He was trying to be modest about
I
it.
think
That's
this
an
moment.
option.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he chose to sing it, and then his teammates were like, "Well, we're not going to pick you for the penalty." He's like, "Okay."
Now they know who to eliminate for penalty.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, look, what about when you think about history, we mentioned Mary's sister won a state championship, and Reese has won a state championship, and she played a big role in that, and obviously Shay did as well. Um, you know, boys, men, we are obsessed by our high school sports. I mean, guys my age, we can talk about every single game that we played at varsity, why we lost, why coach didn't play me. I mean, it's really ridiculous. But I found female athletes, even the best, they play their sports, they do great, and then they move on. They really don't look back. They go, what's next in life? But what about you guys? How important is history to win a state championship at Yorktown? Do you think it's something that you think about a lot in the future?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I think, yeah. Soccer is so like important to me. Even though I chose to walk away from it for college, it's still like so important. So I think especially being like the last year, it would be great to win states. But Reese won one. So
I
I'd
know.
be like,
I can't
how
speak.
often
I
do you
can't
think
speak
about
from
it? I
experience,
know.
but
How
I
often do you
think
think about
I
it?
think it would be something pretty special. I mean, I think even these moments are the moments we're gonna think about for a while. Just like playing our senior year with all our friends. Like I think this upcoming district tournament hopefully will have like a lot of fun memories. And so I think that I don't know, but I'm sure it would be a memorable, like one of the great memorable things about high school.
My mom,
Yeah.
she played at Springfield High School, and they actually won a state championship. And I think multiple actually, I don't know, but she still talks about it till like this day. So I'm like, I'd probably
You
say
do it with field
hockey.
hockey.
Well,
Yeah.
no, but then at the same time for field hockey, well, actually, this was a second field hockey state win. So she was like, no, you don't need another state ring. You will never like look at it again. But then, which might be the case, but I still got it because I don't know.
What's your mom's first name?
Lauren,
Lauren. She was at West Springfield.
yes.
Yeah. And Hudson was the guy the quarterback who threw that pass to beat South Lakes in the playoff game, right?
I believe that was him. Yeah.
That was an amazing. I mean, South Lakes is undefeated. That was an amazing team. I was at the game, and because I have a lot of friends from South Lakes and also, of course, Yorktown as well. And I mean, that was he'll never forget that play. I mean, that was unreal.
He definitely he plays lacrosse. That's actually his main sport, and he won a state championship for that, and he'll definitely talk about it when he's older. He'll never live that up. So I know what you mean about guys.
Where is he going to school?
He's at Bowdoin and up in Maine. He's playing lacrosse there. Yeah.
Awesome, nice weather.
Yeah, they had their Final Four game today.
Oh,
They
wow, they're doing good. That's awesome. Great school. Yeah. Reese, did you speak to this yet? No.
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 Yeah, I don't think I will ever forget that. I think the whole season freshman year was super exciting and we just kept going and I was just a freshman. I was like, okay, like we're just gonna keep going. This is crazy. And being at that game, like my grandparents were there, my whole family, and obviously my sister on the field. It will never forget it. And now my family has two of us who can yap about it and talk whoever. So we'll continue to remind them each and every day.
You can rub that in Cole's face, right? But that moment when Amanada made that goal was unbelievable. But even Shea's goal against Oakton that put that game was 0-0 with like 11 minutes to go, and Oakton was good. That could have gone either way. There were so many moments that you guys could have lost, like we lost, and you guys were able to, like the boys team lost, and you guys were able to win it. So do you think about that run every once in a while?
Yeah, I do definitely. There's a photo when Ami scored the goal, and I'm like
Yeah.
like I look crazy, absolutely crazy, and it comes up like all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh. But like that moment, like we were all just so excited. Like it was pure like relief, and we were like, okay, now we just got to stick it out, finish. I don't know how many ever minutes left, and it'll definitely stick in my memory. And that photo will stay there and remind me of my excitement as I'm like midair with my mouth wide open.
That was great. That was the scariest bunch of women. They looked like bronze, like Hercules. I mean, they were all huge and mean, and they were so physical. I mean, I had never seen a team like that. And they were good. They were good players too. They knew how to play against Yorktown, so that game could have gone either way. And anyway, it was very, very, very special. So, well, look, I think you guys will remember this for a very long time. I know I will if you guys do it. So I'm definitely. But does someone else want to say something, or we can move on?
I think we're good to move on.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the 2021 team, and the 22 team was really good as well. They got beat by a tough Madison team, but that was a very talented team as well. Now, obviously, it's hard to match up with a team with that many Division I players. But are there things that this team does that are actually better than that team? I mean, obviously, person for person, it'd be tough to match up. But are there things that you guys do better than that team?
I mean, only you can really touch on this. I feel like.
I think that I wasn't on that team.
The 2021 team.
2020. I think that I wasn't on it the 2022 team, but I think that it's just every year you get a different team with a different batch of players.
Yeah.
And I think focus on other things. Like I don't know.
I think honestly, like throughout the years, like all the different grades like carry on the same culture and work ethic. So like I think that as the years go on, like we pass down the same like kind of core values that we have as a team at Yorktown. So the teams obviously are always going to look different with different players, and it's not always going to play the exact same. But I feel like we have always had an extremely hard working and driven team who just like, we want to get out there and win and go for goal and work hard. So I feel like they're not obviously the same, but I feel like we have very similar kind of values.
There were obviously a lot more like committed players 2022, right? But I think that like I don't know, I think that doesn't necessarily, like I don't know, I think that we've like made it work also, not like there's people who couldn't play.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about Chandler's team, and they only had one player. They went to the final. They had one player who's playing Division I. That was Justin Melly, and they had a guy, Tristan Kickbush, who's playing at Mary Washington, and then they had Daniel Sandell. So it wasn't like they had a bunch of superstars. They just played really well together. So sometimes it's great to have 7 Division I players, but I don't think you can have that expectation every year, right? So, well, what about Coach Hannah? Now, I love talking to Coach Hannah. She's really fun to interview from my point of view. How would you describe her coaching style?
I think that I think that something that we've really admired about our coaches is they really like to talk to their players. I think at the beginning of this season, we had a practice where we were practicing, but as throughout practice, I think they pulled aside every player and was like, what are your personal goals? Like, what do you think? Like, we could have done better last night. And then like, just kind of goals for the team as well. And so I think that that is like a really inspiring part of their coaching style. And just like there's really great communication fostered for sure.
Yeah. Like they feel like they make sure to communicate with everyone, but especially as captains, like I feel as though we like have good like conversations about like how we see the team playing and like what we think we need to improve on and how we want to get out of the game. Like I feel like we have a good relationship.
Yeah, they definitely care about the players' feedback and our opinions. I think that's a really good thing to have and a good relationship to have, as well as being kind of like hands off during the games as well. I don't really hear them like screaming and yelling about plays to do, but they're so well coached at the same time where they know like what to say at the right moments and like during the game, especially being on like the outside of the field. I know like if I did something or I need their opinions, I'll just like kind of turn to them and say something and like they'll help me out. But I think they're very good at being kind of like, I don't know how else to-
Like giving
yeah,
us
they're
freedom,
yeah, they're
like,
very calm.
letting us play the game.
Yeah, they let us
Figuring out
play the
mistakes.
game. Yeah. Yeah.
So they never get mad. They never get angry.
Well, after losses, they're always definitely mad, but I feel like
So are we though.
But yeah,
I think
it's
so
like
is the
every-
team. You know what I mean? Like
No
so is
one's
the
more
team.
mad than us after
Everybody's
we've
yeah,
lost.
everybody's very like disappointed. But there's never been any like super hard, like out of line repercussions that they've made us do or anything like that. I think it's always everybody's on like the same wavelength after we've lost.
I think it's big on looking to the next game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
We lose
yeah.
and they're like, okay, like this is what we could have done better. Like
Now
let's
forget about it,
implement
move
that
on.
in our next game. And I think that's really helpful. We have a new assistant coach. So I think it's nice that we have now like 3 coaches,
Oh.
another coach, Hannah, actually. But I think that they all like bring something different and it's just great to have so many people you can go to.
Well, let's shout them out. Coach Hannah Davis, who I've interviewed, she's great. What are the assistant coaches?
Coach Ashley Candeletti and Coach Hannah Jameson.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Hannah also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
You have 2 out of 3 chance to get that one right, huh?
Yeah.
So, well, good. So, well, let's go to this season. First of all, I don't know if you guys pay attention, but on the boys' side, we have this team, the McLean team. They're absolutely insane. Now, I don't know if you guys know any of these guys, but if you do, be careful because these are bad kids. No, these are my boys, but on the field, they're absolutely insane. But they've made it fun. I mean, everybody wants to beat them. They take it so seriously that it's brought the level up high all over because everybody wants to beat them, and they're very good. I mean, they have 3 or 4 Division I type players, probably 9 or 10 college players. They had 15 all district players. It's ridiculous. So there's drama all through the games. I mean, there's red cards. I mean, it's unbelievable. Do you have any level of drama like in the Liberty District for girls or around the area? Do you see any like problem children out there that you guys try to avoid?
I
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that I mean also something we like are taught like again something we also talk about on our team is like don't talk to the ref. Like if there's a bad call, there are going to be bad calls. Like and so it's about what you can control. At least on our team. I mean, I also don't feel like there have been any problems on other teams.
Yeah.
But I think that like that's definitely. I mean, on the girls' side, I feel like obviously like something's not called off sides or like a corner's called, and like, I guess like I feel like people are like, oh, like darn, but you kind of have to move on because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think also on the girls' side, this is kind of where I think boys and girls soccer is a bit different. I think boys, I think last year there's also some drama between our boys' Yorktown game and maybe it was the McLean game. Do you guys remember? It was one of the
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
I think there was some drama last year, but I think for girls soccer, I don't think it gets as scrappy as it does boys. I think girls soccer is still very physical. There's always going to be a little bit of dirtiness, but I think for the most part during our games, it's just really physical, and you just gotta know how to body up.
Yeah. You played that Woodson team last week, and they're known as a physical team.
So we unfortunately did not play them because we were supposed to play them on a Wednesday. And they had a game on Monday that got canceled due to the storm.
Oh, that's right.
And they had to replay that game on Wednesday.
Because it was a district game.
It was one of their district games. So we actually did not get to play them, but I've heard they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, they're decent. They're extremely physical and they defend really, They defend really well. So I was going to say also, and maybe that, Quincy, you can address this. Do you guys have relationships with, how are the relationships with your club teammates who are on like Washington Liberty and McLean and Langley? Are those collaborative? Are you guys hugging before and after, after the game? Or is it tense because you know them so well?
I feel like it kind of completely depends on the game. It's definitely tense at a point because with WNL, like you never know which way the game's gonna go. Like when we played them, obviously it went in our favor, and I was like a little happier, so I did have some conversations with my teammates on the field. But I feel like if roles were reversed, I would have been like so locked in and like just like greedy for a goal or something. I don't know, but like I just think. I kind of always like talking to my teammates on the field. That's probably unprofessional of me, but I think I think we could obviously when the ball comes to us, we're competitive, but just like, saying hi. I always
I think it'll be like a little like I'll like wave, like do a little
I'll
wave. But
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the game, I think that like at least we have a lot of teammates on
Yeah,
WNL,
we
and
have
feel
a lot of teammates on for me and Avery.
we'll take like our club photo like for both teams. But at least like for me, I like get in my head if I'm talking to my club teammates on the field.
Avery doesn't talk to anyone.
I can't talk to people that I know.
except for our own
team.
team. Own team, she's very
Own
good.
team. I'm very talkative. But I like I think I like get in my head and like mess up if I'm like having too, I don't know, like even if I'm just being too like smiley. So
Game.
Yes. I think especially with the WNL game is probably one of the most important games to both teams, but it's also so difficult because we almost have to be like frenemies during the season because we want them to do so well because they're our friends, but we also want to exceed too. Like I know one of my best friends is on the team, and we were saying before the game like, oh, we like both don't want to win, we both don't want to lose, but like it's so competitive that like we just like it's such a competitive game. And I think that also kind of ties into your previous question about kind of like scrappiness, where everybody's going to play tough in that game. But since we all are such best friends, nobody's going to be doing a cheap shot.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to hit somebody's ankles. Nobody wants any of us to get injured. So
I think it's like quality games for
yeah,
sure.
they're
against
definitely
your
quality
club.
games.
And it's harder because you've been playing with these people for the last 10 years.
They
know all our
They know,
moves.
I do a step over move that Coach Mike taught me, and I did the move in a game, and one of the girls knew I always do that move. They probably told them before the game that I know how to do that. So
and it's hard because the new WNL coach is like a coach that a lot of us have
he
had
had
for club.
3 years.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know.
So Chandler played with Nate Woods, at Yorktown. Is Coach Woods doing a good job Coach Mike doing a good job?
Yeah, he seems like he's doing well over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's competitive.
we don't really
game
know,
against them.
but it's always fun to play WNL, and I wish he knew a little bit less about us as players.
I wish that too.
Oh yeah. It's interesting so Washington Liberty, we had the same, when Chandler played, we had the same relationships with the Washington Liberty kids. We knew them all, even from youth soccer. I mean, from playing, Chandler was the purple jersey stuff I got. But anyway, we all knew all these kids. The Lightning. He was a Lightning, and So yeah. Anyway, but the coaches has a real physical style. So those games are like bloodbaths. You guys were at the WNL game the other day. They're not as physical this year. But in the past, we hated.
A couple cards.
I saw a couple shoves during the WNL Yorktown.
They did? Okay, yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Still pissed.
Yeah. They really have a physical style, coach. But let's talk a little bit about before we get to the districts. You did your losses this year. Very good South County team, very good Madison team. When you look back on those games, what happened in those games?
I think South County, that was our first game.
Yeah.
We didn't have a scrimmage this year, so like it was really the first like time we had all played together. And like we said, we all know each other. A lot of us played together, but like not as 11 players on the field. Like not all 11 of us had played together. So I think that it was a little bit of just nerves and getting out there for the first time. Like we didn't know all of the same body language and cues. So like,
And I Yeah,
you
wait,
can go.
sorry. And I think that we had a lot of opportunities. I think that at the end of that game, like our biggest takeaway is like we loved the fight. Like that game, we were like, I think it was, what was it, 2-1? I think
so.
it was a close game. And I think that like at the end, like it was our first game, but we kind of saw what we could be. And like everyone kept fighting till the end. We wanted to win that so bad. And so even though it didn't like turn our way, it was like a great game.
Yeah,
And
that like losing that game, this sounds like weird, but it actually like got me excited because like it was our first time playing together, like Avery was saying. So it just like got me excited for the rest of the season. Just like seeing how like from that being our first game, like how far we are able to go.
Yeah.
So I'd like to play them again and see how that would go now.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will, huh? What about the Madison game? That didn't go too well.
No, not at all.
Madison's a great team.
They are.
Yeah,
Yes.
they've always been such a great team. I mean, I think we lost to them our sophomore year, maybe. I think we lost.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost to them our sophomore year. They're just a great team. They year after year, they're always just great competitors, great team.
Yeah.
And I think that game, I think they have one girl who's going pro.
She's unbelievable. Daphne Vander. Why?
Yeah, she's amazing. She did phenomenal, as well as their connection with each other was insane. Their like team chemistry was just insane. Yeah. And I think it just wasn't a good game for us. I think we could have taken them maybe when we played our best, but
it was also, I think, kind of early in the season.
Yeah.
And so I think after that, we kind of reframed our mindset and we're like, okay, like let's keep working.
Let's grow from that.
And I think we did grow. I think we have grown. So
I think that game shows, I think we could have done more to like prepare for that game and like maybe made some different adjustments, because obviously to like accommodate Daphne and like all everything they had going on, just like watching film, I don't know. I just feel like there's definitely stuff we could have made adjustments on that if we were to play them again, I think it would definitely be a different.
Maybe she'll miss her flight if you guys play them again.
Oh, not on wood.
I mean, who knows? Well, I mean, unfortunately, you guys did beat Robinson, my alma mater, but I love both teams. So that was a nice win. So I remember when I saw that result, and I watched half of that online, I think. What do you guys think about the Robinson game? That was one of your best wins.
Raining, there was a rain delay. I remember
it was our
first home game.
Yeah. We had a rain delay, and I think all of us were sitting in that locker room like we just wanted to play so bad.
Oh my gosh, wait, that game was so funny.
It was our first home game. We wanted to be on the field so bad.
That everybody was so excited. I remember we had a huge speaker. We were in the gym blasting music. And all of a sudden the Robinson girls come in. And we all were playing music in our gym. We turned the lights off in our gym, and they walk in, and everybody was kind of like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Is everybody gonna stop dancing?" And they just like came on in, or like I think they walked past for the door for a second, and we like waved them in.
No, we didn't wave them in. We didn't wave them in. They just came on in.
Yeah, they came in, and we did a little bit of a dance circle, a little bit of a dance off.
That's cool.
We played the Pitch Perfect riff off, and we were doing like a little bit of a dance battle. It was funny, and I don't know, just that whole game, like the whole like prepping for it.
Lined up like when we took the field, it was pouring.
We were so
it felt kind of out of a movie. I feel like everybody loves you either love or hate playing in the rain, but like deep down, everybody loves it because it just feels so like. Maybe like this, I don't know if nostalgic is the right word, but like I feel like just playing in the rain just gives it such a great euphoric. Like it's such like a great like feeling like the rain like cools you down. But I remember that game was freezing. Like it was early in the season. It was our first home game, and I remember all of like the stands like. All the parents still came and they brought the they were there. They were right. Sorry. No, but I think, I don't know. That game was also just really important because we knew they were going to be a hard team.
Yeah.
We knew they were going to be a tough team to beat. And I think the energy that everybody brought really
we just wanted it like so badly and everything. It just shows that like, I think soccer, like it really comes down to just like who wants it more.
Yeah.
I feel like it was us.
I think that like playing in the rain, you know that not everything's going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some mistouches. There's going to be rebounds you have to get to, but like, I think going into it, we were like, we're going to give 110%, and we're gonna win every 50-50 ball. And I think
You
like,
step to everything.
yeah, like
Yes.
we knew there was gonna be mistakes, but like playing in the rain is so fun. You just go and you work as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
almost
fun.
like the rain kind of takes like the pressure off because like
I
you know there's gonna be things that you can't control. You know that there's gonna be a ball that bounces weird. So I feel like it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit and like cools you down and like soothes you a little bit, knowing like everything isn't gonna be perfect. So I don't need to be, and I feel like that almost makes you even more perfect in a way.
Yeah. Wow. That's a very positive. You take a negative and make it into a positive. You dance.
Talk about the rain for
Yeah.
I know, sorry.
Jeez.
That's great. Well, let's get to districts. So, pretty smooth ride in districts, except for Langley. You beat WNL, which was a great win, and we touched on that earlier. But you lose to Langley. How good is Langley? I think they have a young team. That was kind of a surprise, wasn't it?
Langley definitely was not our best game. I think that was definitely a game where we could beat them. I don't mean to be cocky or anything. I just know like
Gonna quote you.
I just know our potential of a team. I think we could, if we played how we do now, I think we definitely could come out with a different outcome. And that's just me being like having like, I don't want to say love faith, but knowing that like our team is a good team. And I feel like
I think Langley's a really good team. They have some really strong forwards up top.
Midfielder.
Yeah, and they're good at connecting and finding those through balls. I think that we definitely learn from that game, and if we run into them again, we know what
we
to,
want it.
We know what
we
know what to expect. And like I think that there was some times in the game like we were caught off a bit off guard of it. Like I didn't exactly know what to expect going in. Like I knew they were a good team, but I wasn't quite sure exactly what to expect. But now like we've seen it and we're ready.
I think a game like that is a good wake up call sometimes. It's like, okay,
I think we needed that.
Like,
I think we definitely needed that.
It's like you realize, okay, like we lost a game, but like that doesn't matter. Like that doesn't define how like our district performance is going to go overall. And so I think that it put on the pressure a little bit for the rest of our district games.
Definitely.
I think it definitely
and
did.
like refocus. I mean, I don't think we went into that game unfocused. I just think it didn't go our way, but I think it intensified our focus.
That was after the Washington and Liberty game, right?
It was before.
It was
before. Okay. So you bounced back. Washington Liberty was probably the most important game of the year, and they have a really good team and incredible game. I think it was 5-3 or something like that. Tell us about that game.
It was, I mean, WNL is always a good game. The rivalry, I feel like we said that, like, it's just always super intense. And I think that, thinking about that game, again, I think we're all very intentional, like the whole team is very intentional with the way we go into games. And so our pregame talk is like focused and like, it's all about intensity. It's all about wanting it. And I think especially in a game like that, in any game, if you're winning the 50-50s, like if you like do whatever you can to control it, I think that it's a lot more likely like for things to turn out in your favor. And so I think that we kind of just all came together and really wanted it.
Yeah. We also lost to them last year in the district finals. And I think that was a really big, like, even in the back of everybody's minds. I know we keep saying we forget about our losses and kind of put it past us. I think that one stung. That one stung a bit of losing in the district finals. That one definitely was a bit stinging. But so I think that really just pushed everybody to like, we played amazing that game. I mean, that was one of our best games. I think our team chemistry was there. We were playing 1-2 touches. We were taking shots on goal. We had a lot of chances. I mean, I don't know. I think I was just really fired up.
Was it 5 different goal scorers?
Yeah, we had 5 different goals from 5 different people. And everyone was taking their chances. I think that was our best game. I feel like everyone I talked to, like all the parents were saying the same thing. Like that's the best they've ever seen us play. So
we're trying to channel
like
that.
We said like before, like we knew like practically the whole team like well, and we've all played with them, and like it's always like a big rivalry. There was a ton of fans there, like the whole and like the stadium was packed, and just I think that we all came in like
guns blazing.
Yeah, we were
honestly.
excited to play. Like it was like I think both sides were excited to play. It was really competitive. And I
Yeah.
think what was important is like when we did get scored on, we were pretty quick to respond
Yes.
and get one back. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
the other
really
thing.
back and forth.
But
Yeah, it
no,
was going back
I
and-
remember as soon as we would get scored on, we scored within the next minute. I think
Yeah.
for at least 2 of the goals, we scored again within the next minute.
It was definitely a good reaction. Also,
Yeah.
it was definitely like a nerve-wracking game. It was
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah.
What really grounded me, I mean, maybe this is me going to my choir roots, is the national anthem wouldn't play over the loudspeaker.
Oh my
goodness.
God.
So they
You
had us
sang.
all sing it.
Yeah, they
See, you guys can't sing. I told you.
Maybe we would have
Yeah,
sung
we
it
could switch it to
Solo.
solo.
It really calmed me
But,
down,
like,
honestly.
I feel like a game like
I think I was the loudest one.
no,
Yeah.
a game like that, it's like really easy to like let your nerves take over you because like
Yeah.
it's so competitive. All our Arlington coaches, all our like capstone, all our
Like,
club
everyone
teammates were
was
there.
who you
Everyone
care
was
about.
there.
So it's so easy to like let that take advantage of you and like mess up your game. But then like when I literally remember Avery saying how like this helped her so much. Like when we were all singing and we were so loud. Like,
I don't even know if we all were. Yeah,
We
I
were
don't even
so
know if we all.
hyped.
Yeah, everybody was really
Different
off.
timings.
Like both teams on each side were at a different
We were like,
point.
are
Our
you-
bench all the way over there was at a different point. All the parents on one side.
it was great.
But it was great, honestly.
needed
It was
Like,
fun. It was
yeah.
competitive between both
we
sides.
should
Like
do
it was
that
a
every
very
game.
Yes.
I hope we can sing it.
I know, yeah.
We can maybe like
Yeah.
malfunction the speakers or something.
Well, it's great you get the win because that really sets you up for the postseason. And I think that clinched the title, right? When you won that game.
Winning against Herndon. on
Yeah.
Okay,
Friday.
that's right.
Basically,
Like, but
it-
that was
basically,
probably
yeah.
if we won against
That was
Herndon,
definitely
it was
crucial.
going to be confirmed that we
Right.
won.
Yes.
So Reese, when you played that game after playing club, where you don't have a lot of big crowds for club generally, it's just parents and stuff. Did that remind you of back when you played as a freshman when you had that big crowd for the WNL game? That kind of bring you back to that big crowd, or
Yeah, it definitely did because that was also WNL. I feel every single time we play them, it is
A
a
lot of people
nerve-wracking, stressful game, and it's a game that like if you're friends with someone and they're playing against someone like another competitor, like if it's a WNL one, like you're gonna try to make sure you get to that game at least. So I think it always brings a crowd and was similar nerve-wracking emotions.
yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, it went well, and now we got to look forward to Marshall. And Marshall has a really, really good player that I heard about. But is she not playing this year? She was.
Oh,
The girl,
Stella-
Bella, she's not playing.
She's
not
not
playing.
playing.
Oh, yeah.
She plays in our club.
Yeah, she's a sophomore.
amazing.
She's taking this year for like recruiting purposes, I think. So
Okay.
similar to like what a lot of like we have the same situation at our school. So
Yeah, that's the way it goes. So tell us a little bit about Marshall. What kind of team are they?
We won.
They were.
We
beat
They
them
were
close
also
game.
2-1.
They
It
were
was a
our
close
first
game.
district game, so I think both teams have probably changed a lot.
Yeah, they were missing.
It
couple
was
players.
It was the
Season as
weekend
well.
of the ECNL showcase in.
Oh yeah, it's
So,
terrible.
like, we were missing a lot. I think they were missing a
Mhm.
lot. So I think it's hard to get a good gauge of what the game's going to be like.
It'll
definitely
definitely
be
be
hard.
competitive,
competitive.
especially because now it's districts. I feel like every
Every
single
game
player
matters,
is gonna
yeah.
be working even harder.
I feel like we do a good job of like, yes, we won that game 2-1 and like, yeah, so we won, but like I think we do a good job of
We
just
don't
like
take anything. for
wiping
granted.
the plate clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put my plate clean too.
And just like
Wipe
forgetting
my
that,
plate clean. Yeah.
yeah. And going in.
Yeah, I don't think we take anything for granted. I don't think we
Yeah.
think back to anything. I don't.
No.
We never. I don't. We have never once been like, oh, we beat them once. This is gonna be an easy game.
we
Who
never.
cares? We've
Yeah.
never said that. We every single game we always say like everybody's still got to come out 110%.
I think
there's
that's
no bad team.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
there's no bad
definitely where
teams.
teams can go wrong because soccer is a 50-50 game. It is going to be different every single time.
Yeah.
It depends on who's playing well, who's connecting, who gets like a goal. Like you might have 10 posts and the other team has one shot and it goes in and you lost and no one will know that you possessed the whole game. So I
Yep.
think that like
Same thing with PKs now too. PKs go either way.
yeah, like I think that like just going in, like we're just not gonna think about the past and come out like same energy as we have for our other toughest competitors.
Well, since we established that you guys would rather shoot penalties than sing, have you thought a lot about penalty kicks because it's going to start coming into play?
Yeah.
I
I
think we can't give away our secret.
Yeah, no secrets.
I mean, can't tell you which side we
think
go
you'd be
to,
stupid
but
not to think about it going into
Yeah.
the district.
Yeah,
in
it would be a silly
tournaments,
thing.
but I
our
think
coaches
that,
definitely started us early.
Yeah.
We've been
So we did the same
preparing.
thing last year. We did a lot of
we prepare.
preparation.
Mhm.
Hopefully no one's listening.
I'll post this part
I
on
think it's-
Instagram.
no,
all right.
No. No, I don't think this is. I don't think it's secretive yet. You just said you prepare a lot. So.
No,
Yeah.
we,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
we do.
No, no.
I think all
No,
the teams are practicing.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd be
I'd
surprised
assume.
if they weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's
We're
something
gonna
that
have
everyone
like a
has to
solid
do.
7, I think, as well. Yeah. We've got Faith in Elena, our goalkeeper. She's pretty good
Yeah,
at them
she's
too.
been
Amazing.
getting a lot of practice because of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, she's really good. I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to ask you to look past that game because that's bad luck. I want you to focus on Marshall. But let's talk about your college decisions. And I want to make sure I can see all of Quincy because I'll probably do clips of this. So I want to make sure everyone's in camera for this whole thing. But yeah, let's start with Quincy. You decided to go to WNL, Washington Lee. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Maybe you always wanted to go to Washington Liberty.
I don't think so.
Yorktown.
No,
Yeah, that's
that was actually one of the things that made me like not choose there. I'm like, I cannot possibly go to my rival school. I
I
can't
know.
go general.
I got one Lexington story real fast, if you don't mind. So when we bought our house and over there near Yorktown, we're at the settlement table, and you don't do this anymore after COVID, but you used to, when you sold a house, you had the parties would meet like, and you had to sign all the documents together. And so we're doing that, and I just happened to ask them, hey, where you guys moving to? And they're like, oh, we're going to Lexington. I was like, oh, that's a nice southern town. And she was really offended by that, and very, very strange. So my realtor just kind of got the pens out, made sure we signed, and got the hell out of there. So the deal didn't fall through. So I, later on, I would talk to my neighbors, and I told them what happened. They're like, oh yeah, they were really strange. They hated all of us because we were all Democrats, and they wanted to move away from us and go to Lexington because it was real conservative. And I said, well, why would it be offensive that I said that it was Southern? And she's like, well, they were just a little bit different. But anyway, that's my. I actually have two Lexington stories, but I'm going to save the other one. But so tell us, Quincy, why did you decide to go there? And tell us a little bit about their soccer team.
Yeah, so they're Division 3, which like going into recruiting and everything, I would like I said I'd never ever go to like a Division 3 school just to play soccer that I've never heard of, and now I'm at a Division 3 school.
But you heard of it, yeah.
So, no, I'd never heard of it, and the soccer team. So they reached out to me, and I didn't want to respond at all. My mom made me actually. She was like, "This is an amazing school. Like we know people there," and I was like, "I don't know anyone there," but I responded, and I looked more into it. I learned about their program. They're in like the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, and they actually won last year, and they only have 2 seniors graduating this year, and we have a class of 7 coming in. So I think only going up from there, I hope. But so yeah, and I visited the school. I went to an ID camp, and I just like immediately when I got there, I was like, the school, it's so small. Like the population's smaller than Yorktown, but just like when you're on the campus, I don't think it feels as small at all. And like the people just like really make the place there. I've just felt so welcomed right away. And recently I got to meet like all the girls on the team and all the girls in my recruiting class, and it just got me very excited. And there's also so much like, I know people say this about a lot of schools, but the alumni network there is like crazy. I just feel like it sets me up so well in life. And I feel like going into it, like I said, I knew nothing about the school, and now from there, like I feel like I've learned so many people that go there, and everyone I meet, I feel like they know someone that goes there. Like up in Maine, like my mom will be talking to parents on Hudson's team, and they'll know people there. So it's just funny all the connections that form from that. And yeah,
it's an amazing school academically. They had a great soccer team. Matter of fact, they lost in the tournament last year to William Smith, who got to the final. One thing, Quincy, I was surprised when I went to the roster today. I only saw 2 Nova players, and they were both private. They were both private school. One was Potomac, one was forgot the other one. I was surprised they didn't have more Nova players on the team.
It surprises me too. I'm the only one from Virginia. There's girls from like Richmond, and we have a girl from Colorado, which I'm like, whoa, I don't know. How are you coming here? Because like she has to like take a bus. Like there's no like airport near there anyway.
Right, it's true.
So that surprises me. But I know both girls. I'm family friends with one of them, Helen Otney. I think she's the Potomac girl.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I don't even know that. And then Emily Burke, she's she went to visitation. She's a sister of one of the girls on me and Reese's club team.
Yeah.
So I know her
Also be
as
playing
well.
with her.
And yeah, as far as like coming from all over, I don't know. It surprises me too. But I love the fact that I get to be so close to home. Like that was definitely one of the things that like got me excited. Like it's a 3-hour drive. My parents will be able to come to all my games, and yeah,
Are you outdoorsy? Do you like hiking and stuff? It's
I love it.
yeah.
I go to Colorado a lot actually and hike there all the time and ski and stuff. So when I drove there, it's like 30 minutes into the drive, it just all becomes just like fields and like so many cows and animals. I love it. It's just so pretty. And when I went there and visited with the team, they like showed us these different spots that they go to, and it was just awesome. And I didn't mention this, but another thing that I really valued that like kind of opened the door for Division 3 for me is they have a lot like social wise. I feel like I have more flexibility. Definitely, they do. They have sororities and rush and all of that I can participate in. All the girls on the team are actually in a, or I think almost all the girls are in a sorority. And there's also, I have the chance to study abroad, which I feel like is not the same at a lot of soccer schools. So I feel like it's just the perfect combination of like a competitive athletics and like having all those opportunities.
No, are you allowed to live in the sorority house if you're on the team? Can you do that?
Well, first year I'm living with a roommate. I'm rooming with a swimmer who's another athlete. But I think after that, I talked to girls on the team and they are living in the house next year. So
Cool.
that's an opportunity for me. Yeah.
Also, and do you know what you want to major in?
I don't. I'm actually majoring. I applied undecided, so I don't know yet. But I've been thinking about it a lot, and I feel like since the school is so small in population and like all the classes are so small, I feel like getting to take so many classes and being so close in connection to like my professors and all of that will really help me to like figure out what direction I want to go.
I always pride myself in not giving advice to other people's kids, but I do think it's good not to have a major because you don't really know. You're kind of have tunnel vision when you're in high school. You don't really know what's really out there. College is a time to learn about different things and discover. So I think it's fine. I think it's great. When I was at UVA, Washington Lee was still all boys. So they were all boys, and VMI was all boys. So I didn't want to come near that city. I mean, they had a lot of girls' schools nearby. I think most of them are.
I know they were all boys at one point. That's
Yeah.
news to
Well,
me.
UVA was too. I got there in 84. Boys, a girl, the first girls started there in 1971. So it was 13 years. And the first black student was there in 1972. I mean, it's amazing how society changed over just the last 50 years. But anyway, well, that sounds awesome, Quincy. I know you're gonna love it there. And Lexington is just beautiful. I have family there. More towards what's that town called? I haven't been in a while. Oh God, it's so embarrassed. Covington, which is like 20 miles away. But anyway, well, again, best of luck. So let's go to Avery now. I believe Avery's going to Boston College, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about your decision to go to Boston College and also to kind of leave soccer behind, even though there's intramurals and maybe club soccer.
Yeah. I think that I kind of was the type of person who I was like always like, I'm not gonna play soccer in college. Like I never just like had that, I don't know, like it didn't really ever occur to me that like that was a possibility, or just like it wasn't like a really like deep like passion that I had, or like not passion, like passion for the sport I have, but no, I didn't ever like really want to play in college. And then I think that like I grew kind of late, then things kind of started like I could kind of play. And so there was a time where I was like, oh, maybe I will. Um, but I don't know. I think that I just I'm majoring in human-centered engineering at BC. And so I think that like academically, academics have always been really like important to me. And so I kind of didn't want to go to a school that like was lower academics than I could have done by myself. like, I don't know. I think that since I feel like I wanted to like go through the application process. So I think that academics were really important. And so I hope I'll play club at BC because, or like intramural if I don't make it, because I definitely like don't want to say bye to soccer. I don't really know. I think that I just, I've always like loved soccer. I never really what like had like the idea, oh, I'm gonna go play in college. And so I don't really know what that process was like for me, honestly. It just kind of, I visited BC and I loved it, and it wasn't going to be a soccer school for me. And so it was kind of checked off everything on my list. And so that was really like a big indicator for me.
Are big time college sports important to you, like to watch, like football? Do you like to put a dress on and go to football games, big hat, all that?
I definitely like the school spirit. I think that, I mean, BC is a really good hockey team. I think we're like, I don't know if we're one or two, and then we're not really good at football, but like people go, I like the sports culture for sure. So that was, yeah, I definitely am excited for that. So that was something I was kind of interested in when looking at schools, but definitely not of
How about
high
how about
importance.
how about the city of Boston? It's a very interesting city. They have great pro sports. Patriots not too far away, and then of course the Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins. What about the city and the great food in Boston as well? The accent's a little bit, that takes you a while to get used to the accent. So all the words sound the same to me. But anyway, what about the city of Boston?
Yeah, well, what I liked about BC is it has a distinct campus. It's about like 40-minute T
Oh, it
ride
is.
in Boston. And so that kind of was
Oh,
clear to me of like Arlington is outside of DC, but we still have like our suburbs.
yeah.
So I really like that it's outside like a major like city. And I'm really excited to explore that. I also the sports are definitely fun there. I know that next year I think Boston's getting an NWSL expansion team.
Oh, cool.
That'll be fun to watch. Because I mean my family's big Spirit fans. And so I'll also definitely I need to brush up on some of the Patriots footballs rules. I can watch, but I think that that's that. I'm excited to go, but I'm not
Yeah.
like a huge New England sports fan.
What's it's going to be? Are you going to do the sorority like Quincy? Or
Well, BC actually doesn't have Greek life.
oh, interesting.
It's actually something that I liked about it. I
Hmm.
think that that's kind of cool, and I think that a lot of social stuff is more geared towards like extracurriculars and clubs, which I think is fun that you can get
Is
involved.
oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Good. I was
No. Okay. Is it true? Do all Catholic schools are they like that? They have no sororities. That's just a Boston College thing.
That's just a BC thing. I know
Okay.
that Providence College also doesn't have Greek life and they're Catholic, but like my sister went to Villanova, they had Greek life, which
Okay.
we're not Catholic. Me and my sister just both went to Catholic schools, which is
Interesting.
cool. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I never did a fraternity. I'm not I like to be with people, but then a lot of times I don't. So I just didn't know how to handle it. So I didn't do it. But anyway, my friends who did it loved it. So I'm sure Quincy will have a great time. But well, look, that's awesome, Avery, and wish you the best of luck at Boston College. So Reese, let's talk about Davidson, North Carolina. I think it's in the town of Davidson, right?
It's about 20 minutes from Charlotte. That's
Yeah.
my one location marker. I know.
That's all you have, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
So why'd you choose Davidson?
Yeah, so I chose Davidson because, as with them, academics was also super important in my process because I really wanted to play at a competitive soccer team, but I also wanted to ensure that I got a good degree in education. When I visited Davidson, I immediately loved it. I was there with my mom and I was like, wait, I really like this school. I liked the people. I really like the team, the coaches. Obviously, I talked to the prior, but like meeting them like fully in person for an extended period, not just outside of like the field or like on a call, was amazing. And I think that being there, talking with everyone on the team and how close they were, and talking about how close the school was, like same with so York, not Yorktown, Davidson is also small. So I think that like it was kind of nice seeing that everyone was close and the culture was kind of like community based. And after college, they also have really amazing alumni and connections. So I was excited by that.
Yeah. Did you talk to Shay a lot about your college choice?
Yes, definitely. Shay was so helpful with going through the process. Going into it was scary because you're like, this is a giant decision. You're making a big decision for your life. Like you're looking at schools starting like as young as like freshman year. Obviously, you can't talk to coaches yet, but you're like looking at them. You're like, I'm only a freshman in high school. How am I looking at where I'll be going in 4 years? But she definitely helped me through the process along with my parents. I really do not know how to do without them. The three of them guided me through it and really helped me find like where I felt like I would fit best and see myself
Yeah.
succeed.
Is it one of those things where you is style of play something that you look at when you're going to pick a college, or is that kind of hard because there's so many other boxes that you're trying to check? But anyway, does style of play, does it fit the way you like to play?
Yeah, they do feel like how I like to play. I think style of play is important because when you go and play in a team, it's like you can quickly notice if when you're playing with people, like if you don't play the same way, like you might not succeed as well, or like not look as good, or like just like might not have as much fun. I feel like if you're playing a certain way and you're never getting on the ball because of the style of play, like it's not going to be as fun. So I definitely looked into that, watched lots of games, talked with the coaches, and made sure that I could see myself playing with their team.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm sure it's going to go great. And, hopefully you get a chance to, and I'm sure you will, to play right away. So that'll be exciting. I'll be, I'll be texting with your dad during the games and saying, "Oh my God, almost, almost scored." So, well, Meri, let's talk about your selection. Now, Delaware in Newark, I believe, is one of the most underrated college towns out there. When you're there, it is wonderful, but no
Yep.
one talks about Delaware. It's one of these places where you go there, you're like, why isn't everyone talking about the school? Anyway, I think I know, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Why'd you decide to go to Delaware?
So it's actually pretty crazy. My mom went to Delaware.
Oh,
And so I've always known of the school, and I have a lot of family on Long Island. And when you're on the way to Long Island in New York, you drive directly past Delaware. You drive directly on the highway next to it.
yeah.
And I was looking at a lot of different schools because I always had the thought that I would play in college. And I always thought that I would. My sister played in college. She played at Gettysburg.
Oh,
I think that also really impacted my decision. Seeing her, she ended up choosing not to play her senior year and some of her junior year, I think, because of coaching staff and some of that. So I think seeing how things can really change and how you can be on different ends of how people can act when you're doing recruiting and how when you actually get to the school, I think that also kind of left like a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. But she would not change anything. She loved Gettysburg. But I think seeing how a small school fit her best, I knew I needed a little bit of a bigger school.
Hmm.
So I think Delaware was the perfect size. I think it's around like 20,000. It's a very medium-sized school, which I think is perfect. I really needed that. I don't need like and I was looking at a lot of different schools, but Delaware was actually one of like the later schools that I looked at. I looked at Fairfield up in Connecticut, which is very small, and I looked at Penn State, which is huge. But I feel like Delaware really just like it felt like my second home. I went there and I just like I had like chills all over my body.
it's nice.
I went the spring of the junior year with my mom, and I remember it so distinctively. It was like pouring rain during our tour, and I still thought the campus looked beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. We were walking across all the buildings.
Yeah.
I just completely like fell in love with it. And I did go to one of their ID camps, but I really like it was a really hard decision to walk away from soccer. It was the hardest decision ever. But I just kind of knew that like for me to like be able to grow into like a new person or whatever, and have like a good college experience, that I knew that like playing club would be a perfect balance between still having fun at school, being able to do a lot of stuff and not feeling like I had like a job, which that's just how it would feel for me personally. And I knew that Delaware was my home and I knew that I wouldn't be able to play soccer there. So I kind of chose to like go the academic route with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a great decision. I know that when Chandler when he decided to go to UVA and he knew I think he still had dreams of making the team, but obviously not. But you do find other things to do, and he referees and he plays intramurals, and it's this when you spend your whole life playing soccer 3 hours a day, and once you get over that and you realize that you're not going to do that anymore, it does open up a whole lot of other possibilities for you.
Oh, it
So, I think Avery and Meri, I mean, there's so many other things that you'd be able to do. And soccer is beautiful, but there's other beautiful things too, right?
And I'll definitely still play club, I think. I know yeah, I feel like we both will definitely want to still play club or intramurals or something. Hopefully, you never know. But
Yeah.
No, I think it's definitely super sad to think about. Like, I don't think it's
Our
sunk
last
in for me.
game.
Like, I
Yeah.
think it'll like once it happens, I'll be like, oh my gosh, we had our last club game like last weekend. It was like, whoa, like
I was crying. I mean, it was
Oh,
like, yeah.
yeah. But I think that I've seen my sister didn't play, and like my mom's been around the sport for so long. Like, I feel like I've seen other ways you can be involved. So I think that is like hopefully the path I'll go.
one thing that's great is if you play intramurals, make sure you do the co-ed. It's so much fun, and it's very high level because it's really important to have good female players on your team, because I think you have to have like three. It's like 3-3, I believe, and it's a great way to meet people, and the games are great. So make sure you do that.
My sister was actually one of, I think, the only girls on the intramural team at Gettysburg. It was very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time. I don't think I asked you guys, what do you plan on majoring in, Meri, if you know at this point?
I plan on majoring in communications, and then I might do a minor in political science.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Reese, I don't think I asked you that, did I?
Yeah, I'm not fully sure yet. I've been looking into a lot of the different majors at Davidson, and looking into the different classes that they take for them, but I haven't decided quite yet.
Yeah. How about you, Avery?
I'm doing human-centered engineering at BC.
Oh yeah, you said that. Right.
It's not really, that also kind of really made me want to go to BC because it's only 50 people per grade in the major.
Mhm.
And so I'm like,
Major.
yay. And so I'm like excited for that community. And I don't know how to explain it to people, but I was there for admitted students day and they made it sound super cool. So worst comes to worst, I switch.
Tell them what you did on your admitted students day.
I go to the admitted students day, they put us there like, okay, like let's all walk into this room, and they hand us a packet of a project you would be doing your sophomore year and have us start like discussing it. I was like, oh my gosh.
She literally did work on her admitted students day.
Yeah, luckily they didn't need us to like finish the project, but I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this?
You're in for a treat.
Yeah, you probably scared people, like this woman's gonna be really intense.
Get out, I'm already committed, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, look, guys, are you guys going to beach week together after graduation?
No, we're all me and Meri are in the same house.
Mhm.
These two are in the same house.
Yeah.
And we're all going the same week.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good.
We'll see along each other.
Yeah, we definitely will. We definitely all be hanging out.
Is that they still do that at Duck or Curry Up? What's the
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, look, guys, it's been great. I followed you from afar from a long time. It's great to get to know you a little bit. You guys are awesome, and you're so fun to talk to. And I know you're going to do great, in life. But what's most important is let's get the state title, get this thing done.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Exactly. Well, first we'll beat Marshall, and then we'll get past Marshall. But yeah, I just want to wish you guys best luck. I will definitely be at one of your games. I think I'm going to go to the district final, so I'm just going to have belief that you guys are going to be there. But then obviously regionals are still wide open as well. Do you guys have any shout outs or anything left to say before we sign off?
We
Shout
love
out
our,
YHSG song.
yeah, we love our team.
We love our team.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
such a fun season.
I think they're at Sweet Frog right now, so maybe we'll meet them there. But we
Yeah,
love
grab
them.
some ice
Whoever
cream.
wasn't on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, tell them I said hi.
We will.
We will, yeah.
And tell Coach Hannah.
Yeah, we love
Sam.
Nova Soccer Source.
Always following.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah. Well,
yeah thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
This was so much
Yes.
fun.
I know it is. It's funny because I started that when Chandler was a U10, and it was just our team, the Barca team. And back then, no one was doing Instagram for like teams. And then I started it, and everyone started doing it for teams. And then
Yeah, wow.
yeah, and then this was a long time. And then I started just doing all teams, and little by little, it's really picked up. And then now it's funny because I do it for basketball as well, but I don't know any of the players. Like I know the coaches, and I post photos. But in soccer, on the boys' side, I know all the players, and they're messaging me, said, "Mr. Brown, I should be player of the week," or that team's terrible. And it's so much fun when you spend your whole life, going to soccer games, and then it goes away. It is a lot of fun to keep up and know the inner side of what's going on in these games and stuff. And it is. The kids are great. You guys are awesome. So
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thanks for having us.
yeah, well, thanks for doing this, and have fun at Sweet Frog.
Yes.
Yes.
Have fun
Yeah.
at Sweet Frog.
Our favorite location.
Yeah, and say hi to Coach Hannah for me.
We will.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.